Hey everybody, Dave Gary here. Welcome back. It is the 5 things I learned this week. That's right, it's Tuesday. That's right. It's the first Tuesday of November. So it's election day. Did you get out and vote? Remember, it happens every first Tuesday in November. There's even a song written about it. So get out there and vote if you haven't already. You still got some time. It's daylight. Get out there and vote. Now, now that that public service announcement has been said, let's see, what are the 5 things I learned this past week, these past 7 days? Well, I learned that the Kansas City Royals really can play baseball well enough to win the World Series. Congratulations! Now, don't get me wrong, uh, I've kept up with them many years ago, but over the years, you kind of lose it and you move on to somebody else. Well, this year, they surprised me. Way to go! Congratulations! So again, just when you think people are out, they'll always come back and surprise you. So don't forget that. Thing number 2, the second thing I learned this week. Wow, what didn't I learn? Again, the top thing that I learned is that oh yes, when you make a mistake or you do something that at one point was a great idea, everybody loved it, everybody was on board and said, hey, you know what, let's get more people involved, and it's a great idea, so let's make it happen. And yet, when it all comes out in the end, it's not a great idea. Obviously, it's a great thing to own up to it, but you know what? At some point, you got to also start questioning what other great ideas are going on that are not so great ideas. Question everything. Third thing I learned this week. Well, the third thing I learned this week, and I'm thinking here, it's been pretty observant. I've written some things down, but some of them just didn't make the cut this week. I mean, there's little things. Expect the unexpected always. You never know what's around the corner. But you know what? It's also nice to be prepared and plan and get ready for it, because again, it's better to be safe than sorry. And I'm talking about here locally. We had a weather situation, and well, everybody kind of didn't panic, but it was close to on the verge of panicking as far as what they were doing, how they were preparing, the whole 9 yards. And then when it came out to be nothing, well, that's fine. That's great. So I learned, no matter what, a little panicky sometimes will save you a lot of heartache. So, you know what, just be careful, but prepare for the unexpected, because it will happen. Let's see, we're up to number 4. The fourth thing I learned this week. And, well, again, what didn't I learn this week? Oh, yes. Pancakes, syrup, and keyboards do not mix. That's right. Earlier, well, on Sunday morning, you had the last of the NFL in London, or in the UK games for this year, and that was pretty cool. Again, another Kansas City team taking on the Detroit Lions. That's right. The Kansas City Chiefs defeated the Detroit Lions, but that was it. But again, be careful where you eat your pancakes, especially if you like syrup. Fifth thing I learned this week is that, you know what, no matter what, people will always continue to surprise you, and people will always continue to be upset because of something you did. That's fine, let them. Because for one, either they're upset because they didn't come up with it first, 2, they don't have the guts to do it, or 3, you know what, they got their heads out of the ground, or out of the hole that they had their head buried in, and they saw, wait a minute, stuff has changed. Folks, it's not your fault. If you go out there, you make something happen, and you do it, get out there and do it. Own it. It's yours. If they don't like it, too bad. If I stop to wonder, well, should I write a book or not? Again, you've heard me say this before. I'd still be waiting for my family's approval. I really would. And that's not stopping me from writing the next one. Whether they like it or not, I'm going to write another one, and another one after that. And the same thing with anybody else. Whatever you do, they don't like it, but yet it feels good to you, you do it. And that's about it. But wait, there's just a little bit more. Okay, so here's a bonus. A bonus 5 things I learned this week, but I didn't really learn it. I learned it last year. Folks, we're coming up on the holiday season, and pretty soon our neighbors or you might be going out for a little family getaway or something to spend the holidays with other family members that don't live nearby. That's great. But if you decide to ask your neighbor to keep an eye on your house, or if your neighbor decides to ask you to keep an eye on his or her house, you know what? Make sure there's a thank you at the end of all of that. Because if there's no thank you, there's no neighbor. There you go. That's your bonus. And that, folks, is the 5 things I learned this week. The 5 things I learned this week. Again, let me know what did you learn this past week, these past 7 days. Do it down here. Write it down. Type it out. Take notes. Let me know. I want to hear what you're learning. I really am. I'm very interested. That's why I'm asking. I wouldn't ask if I didn't want to know. So, until next time. And hey, get out there and vote if you haven't already voted.